Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the 2-pack, the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Doomsday and Superman from Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. So I'm very excited for this one. I absolutely loved Henry Cavill's portrayal of Superman. I loved Man of Steel. Batman vs. Superman I wasn't the biggest fan of, and then the extended cut came out and I enjoyed that a whole lot more. I liked the Snyder cut of Justice League. The original theatrical cut, Whedon cut, was okay. But the Snyder cut I really enjoyed, even though it was 4 hours and super long. I did really enjoy it. Some weird things in that movie, but overall really enjoyed it. But here we have this 2-pack, so I'm glad that we're getting some more figures, or actually some figures from Batman vs. Superman this time around. I had the Ben Affleck Batman version. You know, I have the Nightmare Bat 2-pack that in Armored Batman 2-pack that I just took a look at. And then I also have the regular release BVS Batman. So I will do, comparison with Henry Cavill and things, so we can take a look at that. But Doomsday looks pretty cool. His diaper situation is very, very odd looking. I will be upfront about that. It looks so weird. But maybe when posed around, it's not going to be as noticeable, but that's immediately my eyes go to that, and it's kind of funky. But the highlight for me is absolutely the Henry Cavill Superman. There was a Target exclusive a while back. I did have it, but when I sold off all my DC Multiverse, I went ahead and sold it too. I always kind of regretted it, like, I wish I held on to it. But hey, we got a new one now, and this one's got a soft goods cape, so even better. That other one had a plastic cape, soft goods this time around, so very cool. We get the Kryptonite Spear, as you can see there, so excited for that. So let's go ahead and take a look. At the back of the package, we just get kind of the images from the movie or whatever. We got Henry Cavill Superman, and we got Doomsday there. So let's go ahead and open this thing up. I think a lot of places ended up getting sold out of this guy, but I think Big Bad Toy Store has pre-orders still open for that, so I'll have a link in the video description below if you're looking to get it. I ended up getting mine from McFarlane Toy Store because they had the bundle with the Batman 2-pack, and that was the only way I was going to get this Batman 2-pack. Otherwise, I would have been happy waiting for my pre-order from Big Bad Toy Store, but nope, I got it early, so let's go ahead and open it up and let's take a look at those figures. Hey guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button now. If you're a fan of my action figure reviews, fan of the channel, and haven't already, hit that subscribe button now. Help me reach my goal of 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're getting close. I think we can do it, but I need your help. If you haven't, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Okay, so I have the figures out of the package, and I'm going to be straight up with you guys. I am not a fan of this Doomsday figure. I assume this is like a mega fig, and there's some things that I really don't like about it. The plastic feel it's a completely hollow figure, so the plastic feels thin and cheap, and it's like shiny plastic. It's weird. So I'm not a fan of the Doomsday. I am a fan of the Superman. There are some things that I think are a little bit weird on it, but overall, in general, I am a fan. But the Doomsday, I just can't really get behind, and I will talk about it. We'll go over, kind of the details in there. But I have the Superman figure here, and I was just trying to do a little bit of an image and stuff, and it's kind of hard. A couple of weird things with this. We get the spear, which is great, but he only has one grip hand, and that's on his left. And then it's very difficult to get him to grip it. And then on top of that, I'm wearing out the paint that's on the hand. So the hand is not just like the skin tone color plastic. It looks like it's a gray plastic, and then they painted the skin tone color. Why wouldn't they just use I don't know why they paint. It's kind of like a NECA, except there's no flaking. It's just wearing the paint off and just rubbing it off. So that kind of sucks. That's a little unfortunate, but it's an awesome looking figure, and I think the Henry Cavill likeness is pretty good. I don't think it's perfect, but I do think it looks pretty good, and I do see a Henry Cavill likeness in there. The skin tone of the face isn't quite a match for the neck, but I'm assuming the neck was like the blue plastic, and then they had to paint the skin tone, so I don't hate it too much. And then one thing that I've seen some people complain about, and I don't mind this, and I get it, but it's because they reuse the same sculpt. There is where the plastic cape would have been, so you see those two areas around the collar where the plastic cape used to be on the old figure. I don't mind that it's there and that they didn't redo a whole other torso. It's a pretty minor thing, and then like the cape, it just drapes over and you don't see it so much, but I can understand, at one point, McFarlane was doing brand new sculpts for every figure, and that is no longer the case. I'm not mad at it. It doesn't bother me, but you guys let me know down in the comments below. But let's go ahead and get in for a closer look at Doomsday first, and then we will look at Henry Cavill Superman. But again, I'm not a big fan of this Doomsday. Oh, I do want to test something real quick. Apparently this Kryptonite Spear is glow in the dark. I doubt that I'll really be able to get it on video, but let's give it a shot. Yeah, I don't really think it's glow in the dark. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's actually glow in the dark or if it's just because it's this bright neon green paint, so that kind of gives it the glow-ish look, but I don't think it is. Okay, so there is a look at Doomsday's ugly mug. Just a side note, yes, this does glow in the dark. It's not very good, but it does glow in the dark. Like, I couldn't get it on video, but I, like, cupped it in my hand and closed it. I'm like, oh, there is a little bit of glow to it. Not a lot. It's yeah, very, 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 very little. But here we have Doomsday. He looks ugly. Sculpt-wise, looks really good because there's all kinds of texture detail and things like that. The figure, though, man, I am just not a fan. Like, I always thought this of the Clayface figure, where it just looked really, really cheap and like not good looking, and this reminds me of that quite a bit. Now, the base color for this Doomsday is a blue color, and I don't know if it should have been, like, maybe it should have been gray. It's kind of weird, but like if you look inside the joints, like right in there, look at that bright ass blue plastic base that they used, and then they just try to mask it with a bunch of paint and stuff. But one thing that I don't look like, it has this shine to it that just looks like a Fisher Price toy. Like if like I don't know if it's hard to explain or like you have to have it in hand to look, but like right here you just see that shine to it. It's just something about it just looks and feels really, really, really cheap. And again, like the whole thing is completely hollow. Like I think the legs and the arms are hollow even too. Like that's what's crazy about it. Like if you're gonna do the torso, if the torso is gonna be hollow, like I completely understand that, right? Because why would it need to be anything else? Marvel Legends torsos are hollow too. This is just because it's such a large piece and it being hollow, it's extremely hard plastic too. The same for the legs. And I think maybe that's what the difference is because when you have like a regular action figure, the legs and stuff, the torso is always going to be a harder plastic, but the limbs and stuff like that is going to typically be a different plastic, which has a little bit more give to it. And maybe I'm just, because I'm so used to Marvel Legends, maybe the DC Multiverse doesn't do that as much. I feel like the Superman leg is pretty hard, but some of the other ones may not be as bad. But it's this hollow, really hard plastic look to it, and which to me just isn't good for like play kind of stuff. I don't, and maybe I'm crazy because I'm not playing with it, right? It's an adult collectible, like you're not supposed to play with it, but something about it just feels weird. Or maybe it feels like it's more durable, so it's meant to be played as opposed to an adult collectible figure, which they're still toys made for kids. Like I understand that, but something about the feel, I don't know if I'm just getting if I'm really expressing that in the best way that I could. But looking at the blue, like look at the hinge on there. There's a little bit of paint in there, sure, but not a huge amount. So you can see that base blue in there. It just looks a little funky. And then like looking at the knee, you get a little bit of that blue because they didn't really paint a whole lot in there. And then you could just see the ratcheting in there, which is like crazy. The way it moves around, like even the shoulder. Again, it's just that hard plastic hitting the hard plastic. It's just weird. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't really like it. Oh, look at the inside of that shoulder hinge too. You can see that blue coming. So it's just, yeah, it's not great. But yeah, that is like super hard, hollow plastic in the arms and everything. It just doesn't feel good. And then you get the ugly, ugly diaper. I don't think there's any saving this diaper. Like even like certain poses, I don't think there's going to be any saving it. It's just weird. It's super thin. It's super rubbery. It just doesn't look good. Like maybe if it was a tighter fit, I don't know. But I don't know if one day McFarlane will ever change the design and kind of get away from this diaper setup. I understand that it could look good when it comes to the legs, but when it comes to the waist, this is just a really, really bad look in my opinion. Or maybe it should have been lower on the diaper. It just gives, extreme fupa look to it, right? Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like paint wise, really good other than the base blue body. There's just an insane amount of paint, which is good, but like Superman feels the same weight as Doomsday, and look how much difference is. Yes, he has the soft goods, but it's just weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too picky. Maybe I'm just whining and complaining too much on it, but I'm just not a fan. Sculpt-wise, really good. Amount of paint, really good. Just the color seems weird, and then just the quality of the figure, I'm just not a fan of. So, you guys let me know your thoughts on that down below. If you have it, let me know if you agree with me, or if you think I'm crazy, which I might be, and that's okay. But you guys let me know. Okay, so in better news, we have a really good Superman figure that I'm very happy with. I love the soft goods cape. I love this kind of textured look on the inside. I love how the outside has this nice deep red. We get the bendy wire in there so we can flare it out in flight poses and things like that. Love it. Love this figure. I love the coloring on the chest emblem for the House of Kal-El, the House of L, right? Kal-El, L. It means hope or whatever. The suit, the sculpt wise, all looks really good. Very, very pleased with the figure red in there. Just all around looks really good. He comes with a few different accessories. So I've already swapped out. He's got one grip hand for the left. He's got one straight out hand for the right, which I would be like flight poses. I wish they came with two of those, but we only get the one. You do have this for the left, so this just kind of this relaxed hand for the left. You get a finger pointing hand for the right as well, and you can see some of that gray plastic because the skin tone paint didn't quite get all the way in there. And then out of the package is where we have the fists. So most of the time I'll probably just have the fists on there. And again, same thing, it's painted skin tone as opposed to the molded plastic in the skin tone color. And then we got the Kryptonite spear. The end piece of it is very heavy, so at some point, if you're holding on to it, this will droop down, as this is very soft rubber, or very soft plastic, excuse me, feels very rubbery. When we have crazy hard plastic on figures, on this guy, and then this thing is like super super rubbery. Like, it's weird that, they kind of do that. And again, this is technically glow in the dark. I mean, you're not really going to... I don't know that I can possibly get it on camera so you could see kind of the glow effect. That's just because it's a bright green. Not because of any actual glow in there. I mean, maybe a little, but you can't really tell. But anyway, Superman, really happy with it. Really, really happy with it. And that was the big selling point for me, was just the Henry Cavill Superman. So, to get the 2-pack, just to get the Superman, stings a little bit if that's all you wanted, but... at least I have my Henry Cavill Superman. So let's go ahead and check out the articulation on these guys. I'm going to try and fit it all in one frame, so we'll kind of go from there. But anyway, the head on Doomsday, he can't really do a whole lot. You could just do a swivel on there. But you're not going to get any pivot, no up, no down, no nothing on there. The torso, you can tilt to the left an insane amount. You can tilt to the right an insane amount, so that is good. You can lean back a little bit. Oh, see, it doesn't look bad once it lines up nicely. And then coming forward is essentially nothing. The shoulder, you can get a full rotation in that shoulder. There's a little bit of wiggle room in that shoulder there. No bicep swivel or anything like that. You just get a single jointed hinge at the elbow. Gives you that much bend. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge front and back. There is there a swivel, and there's a swivel at that elbow too. Legs go out insane amount. Like, hold on, let me... work it there. You can get the legs to go out that far apart. You can't kick forward that far. It bunches up in that rubber a little bit in there. Leg does go back a little bit in there. Look at that bright blue shine through right there where it just missed some of the paint, so that sucks. Single jointed elbow, and you get a swivel actually at elbow. A single jointed knee, and you get a swivel at that knee, but you can get that much bend at the knee there. And again, you see all that blue goodness in there. The foot hinges down that much. You can hinge up a little bit. You do have a nice ankle pivot in there, peg hole at the bottom of the feet, and then you have toe articulation for Doomsday. So not a crazy amount, especially since there's no torso movement whatsoever on Doomsday, but just again, I don't like the feel of that guy. It's like, it feels like a Titan Hero series figure type of thing. Henry Cavill Superman, I wish he can look up a little bit more. He can only look up that much, unfortunately. He can look down that much there, so it's a little tough trying to get him into some flight poses there. Shoulder, you can get all the way around. You can get the shoulder to go on, straight on out that much there. You have that faux butterfly joint in there to allow a little bit of movement in there, but you can't really go back, can't really go forward for any kind of crossbody or anything like that. You have an upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed elbow gives you that much bend there at the elbow. Wrist swivel and hinge, they are on a ball joint at the wrist so they can hinge any way that you're going to need that too. The cut on this bicep swivel is really weird too, by the way. Once you turn it, it's like, oh, that's really ugly looking. We have a diaphragm cut on Superman and a ball jointed waist, so using both, he could tilt to his left that much there. You could tilt to the right that much there, which is good. You can lean back that much, which is fantastic. And then coming forward is hardly anything at all, unfortunately. You get a swivel at that diaphragm. You can turn a little bit at that waist, but it is a little bit trickier to do that. Legs go out that far apart on Superman. He can kick forward that much. It's kind of weird. It goes out to the side and doesn't want to kick straight. It goes out to the side. Oh, it looks like I'm stressing out that diaper a little bit. See, this is a thicker rubber to where now I'm stressing that out, where you could kind of see that it's stressed out. You see how you can see a little pale blue in there, oh, I don't like that. So careful with that. Be very careful with that. There is a tiny bit of turn in that thigh there. Double jointed knee gives you that much bend there at the knee. No calf swivel or boot swivel of any kind. Oh, one thing, his legs are shiny plastic. The knees are not. So that is one thing that also bothers me, but I can overlook that. Ankle hinges down. You get a little bit of hinge up. You get a swivel at that ankle. You get an ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet, and you have toe articulation. And then one weird thing is it looks like a plastic black pin as opposed to like metal pins that we would see on some toe articulation with some figures. But there we go. Henry Cavill's articulation there. Now let's see how Henry Cavill looks next to Batman, and Batman. Well, before Batman and Batman, we have Doomsday and Superman. You can see Doomsday is huge compared to Superman. Okay, so height comparison, Superman is a little bit taller than Batman, which is a little bit surprised with if I'm being honest with you. But there we go, Superman and Batman next to each other for Batman versus Superman. And then one thing, of course, that is important to that movie is the armored suit that Batman wears. Nightmare Batman, I don't think came across Superman in that movie, but in Justice League, the Snyder Cut, I believe, is when he did. So this one is probably a little bit of a better side-by-side comparison. So when you see the movie, you know, they come face to face. This is kind of the point where you see it. And then so height-wise, Batman and Superman are then really able to look kind of eye to eye there. And just so you can see it, we have the Superman next to the Nightmare Batman. And again, that one would... Oh, he does come face to face in that Nightmare sequence. That's right. It kind of underground when he has Batman chained up. So there we go. Of course, it does fit together. Okay, so that's my review of the 2-pack. Again, I'm really disappointed in Doomsday, but I am happy with Henry Cavill. There's a couple of things in there, sure, but I'm very happy with the Henry Cavill Superman in the classic red and blue. It would be nice if that one gets a single release. Maybe we'll see that, but again, there is a Platinum Edition False God statue version coming, which is kind of weird, but kind of cool at the same time. But you guys give me your thoughts down in the comments below. Is this a 2-pack that you were looking forward to? Did you already get it? Let me know what you think of Doomsday. Was I a little too harsh on it? I may have been, but it just, again, it doesn't feel good. But you guys give me your thoughts on that down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, help me reach that goal of 50,000 by the end of the year. We're getting close. We can do it. And as always, thank you for watching.